Hello and welcome to Walk the Talk, and to where but in front of building number 25, Cuff Parade. I'm back here for a second recording after 8 years. But one thing remains common. My guest again today is somebody who would like to be described as one of the most shaitan chokras of this street. Mr. YK Hamied.
Yusuf Hamied, how are you?
Yusuf sir.
Ji.
Welcome to Walk the Talk.
Thank you.
और आपको पता है,
Thank you.
when we recorded Zubin Mehta here, you were lurking around the corner.
That is right.
And you said this is where we used to make mischief in this
That is absolutely true. Absolutely true.
And you haven't changed very much since.
Well, I don't know in 8 years, but this is where I grew up. And Zubin was in 21, this is 25.
And I believe the sea came right up to the
sea
promenade.
Came up to there. There was a promenade.
Right.
And this is all reclaimed land that you see.
Right. And I believe you once jumped into the sea without figuring out how deep it was.
And I hit my head at the bottom in 47. And maybe I'm wiser for that.
Right. And were you badly hurt?
Very badly hurt.
Very badly hurt.
36 stitches on the forehead. But that's a part.
You are a good surgeon.
Yes. But what I'm happy to be here today, because I'm coming and walking here after a very, very long time. And I must tell you the history of this place.
Right.
My father came and lived in Bombay in 1932-33.
Right.
He had a small house in the corner.
Right.
And one room, he couldn't afford.
Right.
And he and my mother every night would walk on the promenade. And this house at that time belonged to a pearl merchant, an Arab pearl merchant. And the house was called Jasim House. And every night it was lit up, parties, etc., etc. It is now a heritage building, by the way.
Right.
So what happened, party, and my father and mother walking here said, our dream is one day to come and live in a house like this. After many years, 34, 35, suddenly everything was quiet here. Then my father inquired, what's happened? The Basra pearl merchant went broke because Mikimoto pearls had come on the scene. He had to sell the house, and he sold it to a gentleman called Khatau. That is why the road here is called Khatau Road.
Right.
And my father then came to the house and says, can I rent a place? So he rented the ground floor, 8,000 feet ground floor for 200 rupees a month.
Right.
So that's the history here.
That's the history, and I believe that much other history was made here.
And a lot of history was made here.
This became the hangout for great Indian leaders.
Because my father stood for elections in 1936 against the Muslim League.
Yes.
Against Jinnah's candidates, and won, because in those days you could only vote if you were a graduate or an income taxpayer. I hope the system comes back to India so some of us can get elected.
A graduate might be easier than income taxpayer.
That's right.
Right.
But whatever it is, so this is the originally Jasim House, and whoever you can think about in the Congress party, the politicians, etc., have been to this house. I remember sharing a room here with Sarojini Naidu, with Zakir Hussain, Sardar Patel has been here, Pandit Nehru has been here, Rafi Ahmed Kidwai has been here, all of them. And then also from the Maharashtra government. In those days it was Bombay Presidency. Right. Morarji was in and out of here all the time. B.G. Kher, the Chief Minister, many parties.
He and I didn't have, I'm the cheap shot, but you didn't have common interest in drinks.
No. And then on this road, Zubin was number 21.
Right.
But further down the road was MC Chagla. Then there was a very famous actress called Durga Kote.
Durga Kote, yes. Absolutely.
She lived down the road, very close friend of mine.
I can trust you to remember all actresses.
Yes. Yeah, there was another one also.
Right.
Was Mehtab and Surab Modi. They lived down the road. So this has a lot of
I see your eyes light up when you talk of these actresses. Yeah, I'm sure they light up when I talk of Pfizer and Merck and Novartis.
That is right.
Novo Nordisk and others.
So my father started, Cipla was started in 35, 36. And then a very interesting thing happened, which is very significant, that in 1939, because my father was friendly with Mahatma Gandhi came to Cipla and told my father that the British have approached me that we'll give India independence if India assists us in the war effort. So my father said, where do I feature?
Second World War. Yeah.
Second World War.
Yeah.
So he said, medicines from Europe have stopped coming to India. I want you to supply medicines for the war effort. And that's how Cipla came up in life over the years.
So
and
does the name have a history, Cipla?
Yeah, chemical, industrial, pharmaceutical, laboratory. That's how he coined the name Cipla.
You are among maybe 2 or 3 rock stars in their 70s, maybe Mick Jagger and Zubin Mehta in their 70s.
Okay.
You can fill any concert hall, any stadium with people your medicines have cured.
Yeah, that is true. But then the whole history, I remember clearly at the age of 12 playing cricket with Zubin in 21 Cuff Parade, and a servant from my house here came running to us, Saab ne ghar jaldi bulaya hai. So I went running home. What happened? Gandhi had just been assassinated, and we did not know who had assassinated him. So my father was glued on the radio for news as to who assassinated Gandhi. And God forbid, if it had been a Muslim,
yes,
it would have been hell to play.
But you had a Jewish mother.
I have a Jewish mother and a Muslim father. All my friends are Hindus. What does that make me? But I said it.
The odd Parsi like Zubin.
The odd Parsi like Zubin. But we never thought of religion. And this is what I said in Delhi last month. That the stock is the same. We are of the same stock.
Exactly.
And in school days and in college here, nobody bothered about religion.
Right.
We were all one. In fact, on stage I said that in 1925 when my mother first met my father, she called him a Hindu. So, you know why?
Why?
Because the name India did not exist in 1925. It was Hindustan. And any resident of Hindustan was a Hindu.
Where did your mother come from?
Lithuania.
Lithuania.
Yes. So that's how Cipla started, war effort, etc. Partition came. My father was dead against partition. Like
we
Gandhi.
Know that, yes, yes.
Yeah, like Gandhi as well. Maulana Azad, Gandhi, etc. Another person who visited here was very often was Subhash Chandra Bose.
Right.
Good friend of my father because he was the leader of the Congress party at the time at some stage.
And he had to network with Bombay
Walas.
Right.
So that was that. And then over the years, Cipla has come up. I then went to study abroad. This is my Cambridge tie. I'm a great
Cambridge tie, blue shirt,
light blue handkerchief.
And I can tell you, I went to a government college in the bootland, in the boondocks of Jharkhand. So I think this black India kurta is
I'll
just
take it
fine.
off with the light.
No, it's fine.
Huh?
No, I'm just promoting my my alma mater.
Okay. And then
government college in an exotic place called Rohtak.
Okay, I know Rohtak well. But what happened then in 1960 when I came back to India after studying? I couldn't get a job because if you were related to a director those days, your
company couldn't hire you.
Company couldn't hire me. It had to be approved by the company law board.
Right.
So anyway, that was one thing. And then I saw the writing on the wall. I couldn't do anything in drugs. Impotent. Why? Because everything was covered under patents. And the multinationals in the 60s in the healthcare were ruling.
See, these days anybody calls himself a doctor. Vijay Mallya is a doctor, Jayalalitha is a doctor, Karunanidhi I presume is a doctor. Everybody is a doctor whether they went to class 10 or not.
True.
Right? But you are a doctor. Not a medical doctor.
Not a medical doctor.
But a PhD in chemistry. From Cambridge under the watch of a Nobel laureate.
That is true.
A genuine scientist.
So, and that's what...
And you were cooling your heels doing nothing.
For some time. Till I took up the challenge that how does India change its patent laws? And it took us 11-12 years to fight the government to get the old British patent laws that we were following of 1911 to change them, and that was changed in 1972. So to cut a long story short, otherwise I'll go on all day, was that in 72 when the laws changed, it gave India an opportunity to legally produce any drug they wanted. And it was a challenge. And from 72 till 2000, it was a golden age of pharmaceuticals for the indigenous companies.
And why do you say till 2000? Is it not the golden age after that?
No.
Because international patent laws came in.
International patent laws came in 2005, and the government in their wisdom or what foolishness backdated the law to 1995, which they shouldn't have done, because you cannot backdate intellectual property, but they backdated. So today, essentially, you are in a monopoly situation from 1995. Any drug produced, patented, post 95, I can't produce.
But Cipla doesn't seem to have suffered. I see a stock price.
We are going the momentum.
Yeah. You've set up a $5 billion target.
Yes.
For your
But why?
people.
Out of 5 billion,
After retiring.
3 billion will be overseas.
Right.
So we've had to change our model from
In
being...
fact, I love that you said it's time to leave India.
It's not the time to leave India. This is my home. I love this place. This is my home.
No, you leave India in the sense of finding markets overseas.
Markets overseas. That I totally agree. And you will see that in Cipla, in due course, will be more of a global, they give me more respect. I mean, 50 years of being in industry, like you say, pioneering local manufacture, etc. The government doesn't take me in confidence.
In fact, that's a surprising thing. You say that in 20 years, government has never consulted you on pharmaceutical industry. How come Narayan Murthy and Nilikani and Premji and Chandrasekhar and Navadurai will not say that? Why does the government consult IT industry but not pharma industry?
Because the issue of patents and of monopoly is maximum in healthcare.
आपसे डरते हैं सर?
कौन डरता है मुझसे?
Government.
नहीं. Maybe because they are influenced by the multinationals more than me. No. Never done that. Because we believe, and I still believe, I will live by the laws of the land.
Right.
In India, I will abide by Indian laws, America, American laws, Germany, German laws. We have not broken any laws, and we never will. So, when we got the patent laws changed, it was a golden age for the Indian. Now we are going back, and I've said on many occasions that what the government has done has committed selective genocide in healthcare. And basically, being a scientist, I'm not against patents, I'm not against science. What I am against is the monopoly that is associated with it. India, with a population of 1.65 billion by 2050, cannot afford a monopoly. So what I'm praying, and I hope people listen into this, that the Indian government in their wisdom will bring in a pragmatic compulsory license law. I changed the word compulsory to obligatory.
Instead of a drug price control order.
Have a total...
Because that you don't agree with.
I don't agree with monopoly. I agree with free competition. The only way to reduce prices is by competition.
And this drug price control has produced many anomalies.
Many anomalies.
Such as, give me some examples.
What I have said, if a drug has been marketed for over 20 years, to keep it under price control is meaningless.
If you say paracetamol.
Meaningless. There are 100 people making it.
Yes.
What you should put under price control is drugs that are sold under monopoly.
Right.
Because that is where the pricing is high. The newer drugs. What are you doing price controlling older drugs? And I've given many examples, particularly in the AIDS area. We went into the AIDS drugs.
Right.
And gave AIDS drugs at a very affordable price.
I think about at 4% of the price. Or
Not even that. Not even that. What the multis were selling in 2001.
For $2,400?
No. For $12,000 per patient per year, we gave it $300. So it was possible because we reverse engineered the raw materials. We did it, and No monopoly.
But sir,
And legal.
So Yusuf sir, why are you not then Robin Hood,
Well,
farmers ours?
Well, while the patent laws were in our favor till 95,
Right.
that's what we did.
Right.
We manufactured many, many drugs. Now what it is, that we have to go with a begging bowl to the big pharma companies and ask them to license us their products. This is very sad.
But why have, given our scientific base in India, are you also, I know our science is
Yes.
not perfect, are you also, as a science graduate, my science education was wasted.
Shekhar,
But you are a chemistry doctor.
I know all that.
Why are we not discovering molecules?
I have discovered in the past.
Right.
And I've gone with the drug to doctors here in India.
Right. They don't
and
want
said
it.
They don't want it. They
What
say,
drug is that?
doctor, if this is as, Dr. Hamied, if this is as good as you say it is, how come Pfizer and Glaxo not marketed before you? Don't forget, we were 300 years slaves.
Right.
That stigma is
will
not...
tell me about this drug, unless it's a secret.
No, it's a drug for thalassemia, for blood disorders, for iron overload. No doctor in India would use it. Just because Pfizer and Glaxo had not marketed
So
before
what
us.
happened to this drug then?
It's still there in the market, but not a blockbuster.
So you can sell that molecule to Pfizer and Merck.
They
if you
don't want it.
They don't want it.
No way.
Because they are selling something more expensive?
That's right. That's right. Now this is the house where Zubin lived.
I see. So
21
tell me, when you
cuff
played
plate.
cricket, who cheated more, you or Zubin?
We never cheated, but it was very funny where the oval is.
Right.
To go to the oval, there was a bridge and we had to walk quite a lot. Now when I see the distance, it's so far. I said, how we used to walk there every second day from here. We used to play in the compound here.
Right.
We broke quite a few car windows while playing here.
I see your eyes light.
Yes,
up.
yes.
talk
You
of-
should take a, this is where, now it is called Baghe Abbas, but it is 21 Cuff Parade. You should take a,
Yusuf sir, if I
Ji.
bring in an example you
Please
used
do.
from early days.
yeah, tell me.
Just as Mickey Moto made your Basra Pearl Trader go bankrupt, huh?
G.
people like you, Robin Hoods like you, would have made Merck and Pfizer
No.
and Novartis and the rest go bankrupt.
No. There's a place for everyone. And I am a great believer in live and let live. There have to be different rules for the developed countries and different rules for the developing and third world countries. The big companies make most of their profits outside India. What I'm saying is that the third world, India, Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America, require a different system whereby there should be no monopoly. We can then pay royalty to the originator. Canada had this law.
Right.
Why can't we have it here? Within the framework of TRIPS, that is the trade-related intellectual property, if they do that, and this is up to the Indian government, whoever comes to power, whether Aap Aadmi or BJP or Congress, whoever comes to power, if they can put on their manifest.
I tell you what, Aam Aadmi would love to embrace you because you are somebody who fought the evil multinationals. So given their politics and economics, they'd love to have you on their side.
I sincerely believe what is best for India. Which party is not my concern. What is best for India, and I genuinely believe that in the area of healthcare, if there is no monopoly and pay the scientist a royalty on sales, that as a scientist, I accept. A scientist has to be suitably rewarded. Reward the scientist, but don't have a monopoly.
Don't have a monopoly. But tell me, sir, some of the recent incidents we've had of some Indian companies coming under censure by US FDA. You see a conspiracy there, or you think it's a...
I don't think it's a conspiracy, but like you have different laws in different countries, in the regulatory sphere, India has different laws, America has different laws, England has different laws. Now, if you want to sell your products in those countries, you have to adhere to their laws and their regulations. It's very difficult if in one factory you're producing goods for 12 countries.
Right.
Whose regulations are you going to follow?
Right.
And somewhere there's going to be trip-ups. It is not only...
And frankly, Ranbaxy is not even an Indian company now for many years.
It's a Japanese company. The Japanese took it up in 2005.
Yes.
So it's for the Japanese
Yes.
What are their rules?
And Japanese standards are supposed to be higher than
American standards.
That's why you're going and
That's
challenging the Japanese now.
That is right.
Cipla.
Not challenging, but hoping that we can export to Japan as well. We are trying to do that.
Well, that is something.
Yes.
Americans tried exporting cars. But that didn't quite work out.
No.
So, tell me, sir,
Gee.
this documentary, Fire in the Blood,
Tell me.
which you are a star.
Okay.
Right? How much of it do you agree with? I mean, how much of this is a conspiracy, or how much of this is organized by Big Pharma?
No.
This sort of concerted attack on...
Fire in the Blood is a true documentary.
Right.
What is important is a true documentary, because people like Bill Clinton, Joe Stiglitz,
yes.
all of them have appeared in it.
Right.
Some of the reporters like Donald McNeil is in it.
Right.
Jamie Love is there.
Right.
So it's a true, if this had not been recorded or shown, it would have painted a different picture. So now it is, the cat is out of the bag with this movie, which shows clearly that what is important in life, and I repeat and repeat and repeat, is access to medicines at affordable prices.
And you can do it while researching and producing and selling at profit and giving dividends to your shareholders.
And we are willing to pay royalties, suitable royalties, to the inventor.
Well, but the government's listening to you or not?
I hope so.
Aam Aadmi Party is listening to you.
Somebody. And if they don't do that, by 2050, you are going to be, India will be in serious trouble.
Sir, if they don't do that, we know Mr. Hamied will keep on expanding the medicine chest of the third world.
We'll try. Right? We'll try our best.
You already own it, but we'll just make it bigger.
We'll try our best.
And we'll have one more conversation.
Okay? Anytime. Anytime.
And then you will tell me who cheated in that
But I'm feeling very nostalgic
you
right
said
now.
Cat is out of the bag, and you saw a cat jump out now. So I think
but I'm feeling very nostalgic.
You have real dadagiri in this locality.
Okay.